Hello, I'm Dr. Mioka. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at India and migration to America. If you do not know, currently India is the most populous country in the world, and there's a very large population of Indians that are migrating to the United States of America for work and study. And over time, the population of Indians here in America has grown tremendously. And I think that there's a lot of lessons that we can learn from Indian nationals coming to the United States about how to migrate here and really how to achieve the American dream once you arrive in the United States. So, Karibu. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. I would love to have you here. And at the end of this video, I hope you remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe so that when I do other videos on this subject of migration to the US, you get a notification. Asante sana. Thank you. So guys, India is doing wonders. Let's start with the numbers. 1.4 billion people in the world are from India. Those are the new statistics that we have received about India, and I kind of just was mesmerized. I was just reading through the statistics earlier today, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. 900 million make up the population of the working population of Indians. These guys didn't come to play. And so as an African, I started to ask, how can we learn, those of us that are not from India, what can we learn from India that can benefit us if we are looking to migrate to other countries, most especially to the United States of America? Okay, so Indians are reading. They are not playing. They are reading. Parents are investing a lot in education for their children in India. So you have, what's happening is that those that are migrating to the United States of America are either coming here for school or for work. And the statistics are just impressive. Wherever I looked, I was just finding interesting data. For example, 52%, I think it was 52%, let me have a look. 52% of Indians that came to the United States completed their education here. They came to the United States for school and completed the education here. And what's also very interesting is that the largest population of students that received an F1 visa, prospective students that received an F1 visa to come here to study, were from India. They were almost like in 2021, 200,000 Indian students received a visa to study in the US. And this was out of like almost 950,000 applicants that received the F1 visa. So still they are leading in the numbers of student visas being issued to Indian students. And when they finish school, guess what? They are also the largest population of, individuals that are receiving work visas. So they end up coming to school here and then transferring to another visa. It's the H-1B visa. This is for skilled workers that keeps them right here in the United States of America. Yeah, I can just read for you the statistics. For the H-1B visa, 75% of the visas issued are being issued to Indian students. Yeah, so like they finish, they get a visa to stay longer to work, and this actually then puts them on a pathway to getting a green card and citizenship. That's how it's going. So we need to really ask ourselves critical questions. What are Indian students, for example, doing right? What are Indian families that are back over there in India doing right that we can also learn? The rest of us can learn from them. Yeah, so this is the question I've been asking myself. And I think that one of the things that India has done so well is the focus on STEM. So science, tech, engineering, and mathematics. That's where primarily the focus is. So when they're over there in India, these are the subjects they're doing mainly. And these areas of expertise are highly needed here in the United States of America. And so you literally have companies that will even poach Indian people to come and live here and work for them here in the tech industry, in engineering, So I feel like, for me, I'm originally from Kenya, and I feel like our countries, especially African countries, need to do more to focus on STEM. Yeah, because Indian families are sacrificing a lot to have their children study these subjects and excel in these subjects. And then they sacrifice more to have them come here to the United States of America, not just to study and stay and find work right here in the US. Yeah, and they're exceptional. They are doing very well in class. And I feel like there's a lot to say about India, but one of the things I wanted to talk about was this question of family stability. So, according to current statistics, India is basically leading in stable families in the US of A. Like 94%, I think it is. I'm going to look up. 94%, basically. So, yeah. 94% of Indian families that are married have stayed married, basically. They have stayed married. And Kenya is a former colony, so we know that Indians are very collective and communal in the way that they live. You find like parents are living with grandparents and grandchildren, they all live together, and they are very collective in nature in that they do things together and live together. And so children growing up in this environment are very supported by the parents. They support the children very much. Although I think, of course, I've seen some literature where some Indian children complain about the pressure to perform, the pressure to live out to their parents' dreams, that kind of thing, which I acknowledge that happens, I think. But at the same time, we have to recognize the fact that social living provides critical support for young people, maybe young people that are coming to school in America here or who are already here with their parents. Parents are providing them support that they need, and they are able to excel at school and therefore are able to then get what you require to stay on in the United States of America as a highly skilled worker. Yeah, so I feel like for me as a Kenyan, I feel like anyone listening to this video, if you're coming from African countries, I think it's very important for us to support our children, and not just in the sciences, in the arts as well, but for them to be able to excel, to do well, and to reward them for doing well. So I would say not just families, but even, our governments, because for me, what I observed during my stay in Kenya, I went to school in the US and then went back home in Kenya, stayed there for probably a little over 10 years, and then returned here recently. What I observed is that we have a lot of young people that are doing very well in school, and then when they finish school, they don't get the reward. They don't merit, because you finish school and can't even find work in your field because somebody else has been given the job that doesn't even really deserve this job. And so it's really demoralizing to young people. A lot of our youth end up suffering because of this. So India then provides a very good example of a country that is rewarding, their young people, who are excelling in the STEM subjects, by just making sure that they send them abroad, send them to places where they can get more education and more opportunity for work. Yeah. So I thought I would come here, guys, and just share this information with you. And I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about something that caught my attention, I thought was interesting. Once Indians have settled in the US and are, working here, they're doing a lot of remittance back home. A whopping 89.4 billion US dollars is being sent back to India from the United States of America. That just blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? They are sending a lot of money back home, to build businesses there, and to, of course, empower the Indian economy. And you have a lot of actually Indian billionaires here in the US. Indians have succeeded. They have excelled. Let me tell you guys, I wanted to look so I don't forget. In areas of management, business, sciences, and the arts, these guys are excelling right here in the United States. They're even doing better than American-born natives here in America. They are achieving the US or the American dream. Yeah. So we have to think, guys, about how those of us who are coming here as immigrants coming to the US, we have to think about what we can also do to succeed. Yeah. Let's not be afraid of stepping into the sciences. And let's also not be afraid of studying. If you want to excel in the United States of America, chances are you'll need to do tech, you'll need to do STEM subjects, and you may need to take some time in school if you didn't already have a degree back home. Yeah. For those of us coming from Anglophone countries of Africa, where we have been trained in English, we actually have an advantage, because when you come to the US, you don't need to start learning English from scratch. Because you already know English. That's one of the things I noted with the research that I was reading on India, is that what has given them an edge is the fact that they're proficient in English because they were previously colonized by the British. The same can be said of countries like Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, other countries in Africa where they already have English instruction in schools. I think you have an advantage if you're coming here. What you need to just focus on, either you do your training back home before you come, or just know that when you come here, you will need to do training in some program here that can give you an edge. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. And yeah, I would be very appreciative if you would consider subscribing to my channel for more videos on migration to the United States of America. Thank you. Bye-bye.